Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome into the shop. We're back on the very classic, very big brute, the 50-pound plus Sansui 1000A, 1965 to 1971, manufactured in Japan. The great name of Sansui, one of the greatest names in vintage audio and well in electronics. Last time we found the problem with the fuse holder that had collapsed here, but in getting the set operational here, the quality was very poor, and when that happens, it's usually indicative of some bad capacitors in here. Let's turn this around and we'll see what we're talking about here. As in most electronic devices, the things that the number two position, number one is mechanical interfaces like we have here with the knobs and the switches. They tend to go bad or need to be cleaned up. They get oxidation on them. We use some of the cleaner that I showed you guys last time. This is electronic cleaner. You can use something called the Oxid 2 that's popular in the industry. Do not use WD-40. And next, be careful. There's very high voltages running around here in some of these tubes and some of these rails in here, power rails. It's something you need to be very careful about. This is electronics that can kill you here in working on them. So I got everything powered down. I've de-energized the capacitors, the little sort of storage battery, like a storage battery that take a charge and release it on a certain interval. But you'll see these big gray cans in here, and some of them have positive. This will say Elna, which was a Japanese brand that's on here. Some of these electrolytics. It says ELYT electrolytic cap here, and these are the things I want to change out first. We also have some oil filled and some other caps here that are coupling capacitors for the vacuum tubes. I'm not going to get into the whys and wherefores, but we're going to go through today. I've got some basically equivalent values here that we're going to put in. We're just going to start with the basic electrolytics, the ones that have the positive and negatives here, and we need to make sure we align them in the proper direction. And the way I like to do that is I don't just immediately cut the old one out of the circuit. I route the new one around it, get it soldered down, and then I cut out the old unit once it's in place, being very careful to keep the positive and negatives of the replacements aligned. You can see the that on that side it has a little negative on there, which indicates that the other side is positive on there. So the alignment has to be proper. I've got the soldering iron plugged in, and we're going to go ahead and change out what we can do today, and have to order some other caps here. But let's see if we can do any improvement in quality by changing out some of these. And by no means are these all the big electrolytic capacitors, because there's some tower winds that sit up under here, and I don't even want to mess around. There's a lot of things to be changed out here. There's a lot of crappy coupling caps. I don't want to get technical. I just want good sound. I want things working again. So let's start simply and work our way out here. You see here I've put down the positive leg, so it's on the same positive terminal on here, and we have the negative out the other side. You can see the negative sign, so we can go ahead and cut out the base over here, cut off the little lead on that, and then make a good mechanical connection there and tie it down. And step by step we'll throw power to it to check it. This is the old units. The old ones were rated 250 volts. These are 450 volts. So they're a superior product, much smaller. And the difference in capacitance isn't really going to make any difference on the unit. 22 instead of 20. So let's get it done. Go ahead and cut that. Cut off this end here. Okay. We've got that first one. We got that first one out. There, we'll go back and double check our connection here. This side, make sure it's good. I'm not a great technical person when it comes to soldering, but I do a good enough job in here. I think we'll lift that up a little bit. See a little better. It's kind of warm in here today. We'll let that cool a minute. Now we'll go ahead and stretch the other leg. I'll sort of bend the leg on that one a little bit. Catch it on the other side. This negative is gone to ground here on a little ground post. Get a good, get that leg on that turned a little bit. We'll cinch it up, and we will put the solder to it, and one down, and many to go here. Like to get that connection good and hot, and then the solder flows really well. So one down, there we go, and that's all in place. And we'll check some of the values on the old ones and see if they went bad. But I'll tell you, they're probably not real good. Let's go ahead and put a little fire in the hole here now. Don't have any smoke or anything. That's a good sign. It's our first unit. We can kind of lay that down a little bit down there, but that's a real nice connection on there. And as I was showing you guys, it replaces the old one. It's probably a dud now. Really no difference. I didn't expect replacing the first one would be much of a difference in here. Still rough. But you want to do this, you want to test one at a time. You don't want to do a ton of them and then have hooked up one backwards, and then you got a big problem figuring out where your wrong hookup is. So, all right, well, let's keep moving ahead. We got fire in the hole. That's the important thing. So far, we're on track. We're getting the next one secured in. We're doing the negative foot on that now. Let's go ahead. I always like to make a mechanical connection too by working the wires around each other and then doing the soldered connection. It makes a really superior connection. Get the joint hot. It's a little difficult now. We got modern metal and kind of old metal, but we'll get that float on that joint there, and we'll let that cool a minute. And we look like we got real good contact there. We don't have any potential shorting, so we'll go ahead and put the next power on again. Everything's good. It's already sounding better, I think. Let me see something here. I don't want to get a copyright match. I don't think the antenna is really hooked up. Plus, I've got the tuner wire here, so I gotta change something up here. I can't move down the dial because I'm blocked by this rug here. And yeah, just as a reminder, each step along the way, I got my safety glasses on. Okay, I only ever put one hand in when the power is on the unit. Okay, so let's fire up again and see if we're gaining ground here. Not really any better. I had a little hope for a second, but I've only changed out 2 parts so far, so. Yeah, not good. So we're going to keep moving along here, okay? Really not much difference yet.
It's on the eastbound side of the freeway, but again, it's a visual hazard, and there may be more traffic in the westbound.
Now replaced this one here. this one here, and this one here. These are, I don't have any of these. I'm going to have to order the other ones here, so that might actually be about all we're going to be able to do. Some of these oil-filled caps here, but we're moving ahead little by little. Trying to see if there's anything else I can change out today. That was stupid. I left the old piece just sitting in there. Good thing it didn't short out on me. Woo! Gotta be careful. Well, here goes the unit, guys. Sold. Hope be happy in your new home. What's all that mean? Well, I'm checking my email while I was on, grabbing a little bit of a lunch break, and Rosie, I really want that unit, that Sansui 1000A. I'm like, I have to write the guy back real quick. He gives me his number. I said, I'm not even done it. Although I'm kind of lazy. I hate to do all those part change outs stuff. He's like, no, you already diagnosed what the main problem was, and I'd like to just take it from here. I'm, you know, pretty experienced guy, and I really love that unit. I don't really like the unit, so I ended up getting a real good price for it. About $400 more than I would have been able to get the other day. So guess what? Cy and I are into the white van. On its way. We are all cleared out today. So sometimes it happens. Somebody will get a taste. So I forgot to give him the manual here. I'll have to call him and tell him he forgot that. But sometimes it happens, guys, that somebody wants something real bad. In my experience, if somebody ever wants something real bad, it's probably time to let it go. Certainly not our most complete restoration job, but we got it to the point it needed to be. And quite frankly, I hate humping that thing around. It is so doggone heavy. I'm always afraid I'm going to herniate myself, drop it on my foot. So happy trails, Sansui 1000A, and hope you guys aren't disappointed. But I just don't think these days I got the patience to change out 10,000 little parts. Surprise! All right, guys. Well, it's going to take a break from our projects for a while we get the next one lined up. And like I say, quite frankly, I'm kind of glad to have that one out of the house. Let the next guy have some fun with it. Thanks for watching, and thumbs up are appreciated.